Who's to say what's impossible in the UFC? All these fighters keep getting arrested due to them getting intoxicated. They all have CTE and keep getting in trouble. Okay, yeah, dude, Anthony Smith is in a lot of trouble. It seems. As you can read from this article, Anthony Smith accused of threatening to kill wife, attempting to run her over with vehicle. So allegedly, Anthony Smith tried allegedly, remember, allegedly tried to run over his wife, right? Um yeah, this is really bad. Hopefully it's it's not true, but these reports have are pretty damning, and um if they are true, then Anthony Smith is in a lot of shit, and he could be put behind bars for a long time. All right. But let's read this article first. Let's read this article first. So details have surfaced in the allegations that led to the arrest of former UFC title challenger and current analyst Anthony Smith. On Wednesday, the Sarpy County, Nebraska Attorney's Office released a statement to MMA Junkie following Smith's initial hearing in front of a judge, during which he was granted a $500,000 bond with the condition that he'd stay away from his wife. According to Attorney's Office, okay guys, it's according to the Attorney's Office. Smith is accused of threatening to kill his wife if she did not go home with him following an altercation at a bar in Gretna, Nebraska, after which he grabbed her and pushed her into the vehicle. The attorney's office further alleges that investigators concluded Smith tried multiple times to hit his wife with the vehicle when she escaped during the drive, but that she was able to maneuver out of the way and avoid physical harm. A warrant was issued and Smith later turned himself in, according to officials. So allegedly, Smith tried to run over his wife after, I don't know, whatever, some kind of dispute. All right. Um, he must have been intoxicated. All right. I think that's what they said, right? He was intoxicated. He had to be, right? Because they're at a bar. Man, I kind of forgot what. Okay, they're at a bar. All right, so he was most likely intoxicated. All right, and got into altercation with his wife. She then proceeds to run away, and Smith follows her, trying to hit her, allegedly. All right. Um. Yeah. So she was dodging and weaving. She was ooze 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 ooze. Juking Anthony Smith. Um. And yeah. Smith, 38, currently faces 3 felony charges. All right. So these are the 3 felony charges he's being faced with: first degree domestic assault, terroristic threats, and first degree false imprisonment. He is scheduled back in court August 17th and has yet to comment publicly on the incident. Yeah, dude, this is really bad. All right. And this is also the second occasion where a UFC fighter, gets intoxicated and, gets into trouble, right? Just like DP, who a couple months ago, almost got in a scuffle with some lady stewardess. I think that's what they called, right? Stewardess or lady airport ladies and a police officer, right? And he tried to throw hands. He's pulling his shorts up. It's gonna be bad, my homie. We ain't say no N word here. We keep it PC here, but yeah. I thought that was bad, right? I thought Dustin P. Head Poyer was in a lot of shit there, and I really thought he could have gotten tased and it could have gotten a lot worse, right? But he was able to kind of hold himself back and not do anything stupid, right? And he was under the influence also, so combining that with the CTE, it's not in depression and whatnot. Yeah, it's not a good mix, right? But he was able to stop himself, right, from hurting anyone. Apparently, allegedly, that's not how it went for my boy Anthony Smithy Smith. All right, he is being, these allegations on him are really damning. They're really bad, and if they are to be true, then he could be behind bars for a long time. Yeah. Here's the, I think, court. This is a video of him in court of what he's being, allegedly, I guess, prosecuted for. The three felonies. Hear it out. Hear it out.
Do you understand the 3 counts that have been filed against you?
Yes, sir.
The defendant had been kicked out of a concert at Gretna Days for being in an altercation earlier in the night.
Prosecutors allege Smith tried to get his wife into a car while threatening to kill her.
He had to push her into the car by force to get her there. She did ultimately exit the car at one point. He threatened to kill her again if she did not get in the car.
Back at their Gretna home, Smith allegedly reversed the car, trying to hit his wife, then accelerated when she was in front of the vehicle. Prosecutors say witnesses helped her and their children out of the home after Smith went inside.
Witnesses heard gunshots coming from the home, but he had made the statement that he would kill himself if law enforcement came inside.
All right, so Smith, like I said, Smith allegedly threatened to kill himself if the police authorities came inside his own house. Yeah, dude, that's really dark. That's really dark. This is way more worse than the DP situation, and yeah, dude, it really goes to show how these fighters really suffer from, not really having anything to do in their life, right? Cause like after they're done fighting, they don't really have anything to do other than maybe coaching, or training the local karate kids or whatever, right? These guys are warriors, man. People forget, man, but these guys are marauders, right? These guys only know how to fight, and most of them don't really have any other avenues of to get money. They're not really geniuses. There are some exceptions. There are some exceptions like Rich Franklin, right? But most of the time, these fighters don't have another avenue to go to for money, right? Fighting's all they know, and a lot of the times these guys come from really rough backgrounds. Sean Strickland. I'm surprised Sean Strickland. Who knows what Sean Strickland's gonna, what's gonna happen to Sean Strickland after he's done fighting, right? Hopefully he doesn't get into anything bad. He probably does have CTE. He has a lot of guns, but yeah, dude. Anthony Smith was kind of the last guy I thought would get into this kind of trouble, right? Not the last guy, but maybe a select few. But this has really turned to a really dark place, man. And I don't know if to feel bad. If it's true, then fuck him, right? If this turns out to be true, what the prosecutors are, allegedly saying, right? Fuck him, right? He's a piece of shit, but also, I can also say that, I feel bad for him, right? Because he's obviously suffering from some sort of mental health condition, and then, combining that with the CTE and drinking, dude, that's just a combination of death, essentially, right? So yeah, dude, this is really terrible. This is really bad. I hope it's not true, but what the authorities are saying is, it's not good. It's not looking good. Yeah, taking a page out of John Jones's book, essentially. Here are I think the 3 felonies that he's being, I guess, accused of. The first one being first-degree domestic assault. The offense occurs when a person intentionally or knowingly causes serious bodily injury to an intimate partner or family household member. To prove the charge, prosecutors generally must show the alleged victim was a family member, household member, someone qualified intimate relation. The defendant intentionally or knowingly caused seriously bodily injury. So yeah, so from what we're hearing, that he's trying to run it over. This sounds pretty right. It's punishable up to 20 years in prison. It's a class 2A felony. The second one being terroristic threats. A person commits this offense if they threaten to commit a crime of violence with the intent to terrorize another person to cause the evacuation of the building in the reckless disregard of causing such fear or destruction. The threat does not have to be carried out. It can be spoken, written, electronic, or communicated another way. Class 3A felony, up to 3 years in prison. Fine up to 10,000. So this one, I'm pretty sure is applying to the part where he allegedly threatened to kill himself if the authorities went in his house. So this one's for that one. And then the first degree false imprisonment. This offense occurs when a person knowingly restrains another person under circumstances that expose the victim to the risk of serious bodily injury. Okay, restraining, I guess forcing his wife into the car allegedly, and not letting her out, and yeah. So if someone is charged with all three, if a person is convicted of all three, if the judge decides whether the sentence to run concurrently, consecutively. Okay, that's about it. Thanks ChatGPT. But yeah, dude, he could be in prison for a long time. This turns out to be true. And they apparently have really damning evidence. I was trying to decide whether or not to make this video yesterday when the news broke, right? But there wasn't really enough information for me to go over. Now we have a bit of info, and what he's kind of being prosecuted for. But yeah, dude, this is terrible. This is honestly terrible. And yeah, dude, this is terrible. I don't know what else to say. But in other news, we got my boy Johnny Meat putting his 2 cents. Johnny Bone Jones, old Johnny Bone Jones, the original villain of the UFC. Essentially he's the devil, man. He's the devil. Yeah, he said, "Your boy over here looking more and more like Gandhi these days." Really, John, man? Really, John? You're comparing yourself to Gandhi? Hilarious, man, hilarious. But oh shit, what the fuck? Let me go on. Johnny Meat, and then he goes on to say, reply to this comment where thoughts on Anthony Smith. I hope he prays. I know there's no problem too big for Jesus. He can literally change any situation. Yeah, dude, John is pretty knowledgeable in these kind of I guess settings, right? He's used to like running into pregnant women, hitting women, just all these crimes, man. All these crimes. Johnny, he knows. No one knows more about crimes and drugs and than Johnny Bone Jones. But yeah, dude, that's about it. Other than that, all this is alleged. Remember, I'm saying this is alleged. Yeah, dude. Hopefully Anthony Smith. I don't know. Hopefully it's not true, but there's a lot of evidence apparently being said by the authorities, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might make another video if more information comes up. But other than that, that's about it. This is all alleged, and yeah, don't sue me.